And
Hello and welcome to a Gypsy Kiss. It's Friday Fenndango and I'm the Magical Treasure Princess. Oops. Magical Treasure Princess. My life coach to the rich and famous, Shelley Carney.
thank you, Shelley Carney, Magical Treasure Princess. And I'm Toby Younis, Administrative Assistant of the Magical Treasure Princess and her Chief of Security. Stay back. 6 feet, baby. I mean, you know, like baby who is attacking me. He was on his way. He was doing
Attack,
that.
baby.
He was doing that. He was doing that, or she. I still don't know which gender it was. He was doing that.
Moving on.
The two hands and feet crawl because they haven't figured out crawling yet. So stick with us tonight. We got all kinds of stuff. We got some emails. We got texts, blah 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 blah. You know what's up? No giveaways tonight.
You know the deal. As
You
Will would
you know
say.
the deal, as Will would say. All right, Chihuahua, where's my?
Toby wore that shirt on Wednesday.
No,
Did you?
no. I wore a blue shirt on Wednesday. You can go back and look at the video. Go back and look at the video. There's video
Make a comment while you're
there's
there.
video to prove it. Make sure you make a comment. By the way, don't forget, next Wednesday we'll be back to giving away Santa Coronas. So make sure you make a comment on last Wednesday's video so you can qualify for it. It's the same style, it's the same brand, but it's a different color. I don't know how many I have. I have a bunch of them. I bought them all at once.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Of course you want towels because towels son muy importante. Toallas.
I washed
remember
my
this.
towels today.
You did?
Yeah.
Once a week, baby. You got to wash towels. They walk around and just grab that coronavirus out of the air. It'll
Maybe
make you-
so, because somebody up the street from me, they had a drive-by funeral today because he passed away from coronavirus.
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah. I walked by and I waved. They were
Drive-by funeral. So they
bagpipes.
was he a police officer? They usually have bagpipes for
Well,
police
it's just
officers.
one guy wearing a kilt playing the bagpipes.
You know
and
what? That explains when
A
I was
couple
coming.
of family members.
I just realized when I was coming back from my bike ride, I came back into the community, and you know that park that's right there at the beginning of where you make the turn in, and there was a bunch of cars going around the park, and they had balloons on them, and I couldn't figure out what it was until the last car had a sign in the back that said "Happy Birthday, Miranda." They were doing
There's not a lot of drive-by stuff going on.
yeah, birthday drive-by. I just thought about that. Okay, hey swamp people. It's calling swamp people. All right, we got to do. Wait, hang on. We got to do some
Towels.
housekeeping. So first of all, I'm going to plant the survey one last time. Here's the deal with the survey. It closes Sunday night at 11.
You know the deal.
You know the deal. It closes Sunday night at 11:59 p.m.
Oh.
And then we will present the results. We are over the number that I need to have a credible margin of error, as we like to say.
Thanks to all you people who did that on Wednesday night.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. So it's still open till Sunday at 11:59 p.m. It will close after that, and then we'll present the data to you on our Wednesday night show, along with a Santa Corona. And we did get, we kind of fixed Shelley's audio. We had a workaround, but we decided that we just ordered her another computer. So she's going to get the same computer that I have, a Dell,
they're going to be best friends,
and they're going to
just
be
like
best
us.
friends. So yeah, she's getting a new computer. It'll be in like next week. So I'm sure Kevin will install it for us, and that way there will be no more issues on the
Install it. All you
treasure.
gotta do is turn it on.
Well, yeah, you got to move all those. What do you have? 4 disk drives worth of stuff. You gotta crunch that down.
Yeah, I got to do that. He's
Yeah.
not going to do that.
Yeah, crunch that down. You don't need 4 hard drives. They're gonna. It comes with a 1 terabyte hard drive, and that's going to have Windows on it. You don't want to put another Windows on there.
I wasn't planning to.
Okay, all right. And it has 2 more slots.
Wow.
It has 2 more slots in it. I opened it up,
Oh,
and it has 2 more hard drive slots. So you'll have plenty of room.
nice.
And that Xeon processor. Xeon.
Intel.
Okay, so closes Sunday 11:59 p.m. and then we'll present the data next Wednesday night. If you would like to reach out to us, way to do it is in the room. Precede your question with an @ Gypsy's Kiss. That highlights it for us in the chat room. Every once in a while, one of our moderators will do that for you to show you how to do it. You can also use that technique if you want to talk to somebody else in the room and the same effect. So if I was in the room and I was Huli and I wanted to talk to Jen, I would do an @ Jen and it would highlight it for Jen, and that way she would see the comment, question, or criticism from Huli. Although, no, Huli doesn't do criticism. So that's one way to reach out to us. Another way to reach out to us is look at just below us here. You'll see a phone number, 202-815-1171. That's our studio phone. Right now, you can send a text message to that phone, and we'll read it later in the show. You can also call that number and leave a voicemail because I have it on Do Not Disturb, and we'll listen to your voicemails. And then around 8 o'clock or so, depending on how things go, we'll open up the phone lines, and you can call in and chat with the Tobster. Because that's the point at which, what are you doing?
I'm pointing at you.
Oh, okay.
Trying to see it on the screen.
Because that's when
But
the
you
magical...
didn't do the whole, don't forget to like subscribe, click on the bell, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even get to do my ring-a-ling-a-ling or me in the know or grow the channel. We forgot all that part.
Housekeeping, you want towel?
Es muy importante for you to like this video. YouTube likes it when you like the videos, and the Magical Treasure Prince, it loves it when you like our videos. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social networks. And that way we can
Grow the channel.
And finally, if you are not already a subscriber, this would be a grand time to subscribe to the channel. And when you see that notifications bell pop up, make sure you ring the notifications bell, and that way every time we launch a live stream or upload a video, one of the not unlisted ones, I made that mistake last night, you will be immediately informed, and therefore
in the know.
And there is nothing better in life, brothers and sisters, than being in the know. By the way, we are going to be doing actually, I'm headed up north for tomorrow because I'm going to go shoot some gimbal work. My drone doesn't arrive till Tuesday. I just got a note today from DJI, guaranteed to arrive on Tuesday. But I'm going to go up north to do some gimbal work. I will be back in time. See, Hooley's done it there, so we can see it. I will be back in time for Church of the Search on Saturday night at 7 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time. And then we'll just play some music and stuff. And then if you'd like to contribute to our little project, one of our other moderators in the room, K-Pro, I see Hooley, I saw Colorado, and who else? Did I miss anybody that's in the room? I haven't seen Sassy and Sarah won't. Sarah doesn't show up till later. Where was I going? Oh, if you'd like to contribute to our project, the coolest way to do it is look up above here, and you'll see our PayPal.me account. It's paypal.me/agypsyskiss, and that way YouTube doesn't take 30% off the top. But if you don't mind using YouTube Super Chat feature, go down to the bottom of the page. You'll see a stylized but grayed out $sign. Click on that $sign, and YouTube will happily walk you through contributing a Super Chat. And the reason they're so damn happy about it is because they take 30% off the top, for gosh sakes. But, you know, That's the
It's a
way
free
life is.
platform,
It's a
so
yeah.
what are
What
you
can we say?
gonna do?
What can we say about that? Let's see. I think that's it. Let me see.
That
Let me
is
see.
it.
That is it.
Yes.
I said all the other stuff. Survey, blah 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 blah. I'm going to put the survey in the room. Closes Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And then we'll release the data. We'll walk you through the
Let
data.
the data loose.
We'll loose the data on you Wednesday night, so you can find out which state do most people believe in which the treasure. How do you say that? What's the correct language for that? Which state in which the treasure is hidden? You will discover.
In
No,
which,
which
in
would
which,
be-
in which,
and which
in
and which.
which.
All right, let's do some emails. You want to go first?
Okie doke.
Which one are you going to do, Ronaldo, first? Because I got to open up those pictures.
Officially retiring, yes, but you got to
Okay.
play the video first.
Okay, we're going to do email video. All right. I'll you go ahead and read, and I'm just gonna open up the pictures. Oh, you know
Okie
what? Read.
This is not, no pictures.
I know it's in the second one, so I'll wait for you to
Yep.
read the second one.
So this is called Officially Retiring from Reynaldo Vasquez. He says, "Hey, Toby, just like last year. Below, I have included my last email to Forrest and my retirement from the chase. Last year, you said to give it one more go, and I have. I'll still be watching your channel, of course." And this is the email he sent to Forrest. "Well, Forrest, I apologize in advance for such a long email, but after 7 long years, it should be my last. Today, I take the car trip back to Temple, Texas. I'm still in West Yellowstone, about to eat some breakfast and buy some souvenirs before heading back. My fiance enjoyed the trip somewhat, and my dog enjoyed taking a dip in the Madison River. Of course, I spent most of yesterday searching for the chest. The park is closed, so I skipped ahead and parked in the parking area below Baker's Hole and crossed the river right where the Madison turns left. From there, I walked up the hidden creek that makes up the bend where there is still water flowing with several logs big enough to use as a bridge to cross over. That whole area to the left is full of fallen trees. Actually, I think you can show the picture. I think
Okay.
this is
All right.
referring to that place.
Yeah. So he sent me two pictures. One is a Google Earth image, and I think he refers to that second. Let me show you the picture that he's talking about. The areas he's talking about. This was the area we checked out when we were in West Yellowstone. Okay.
But I headed right up the bend until I reached the stake painted orange, white, and black with the Yellowstone boundary line sign. There was one at the top of the big hill overlooked to my right, too. There were stakes about every 100 feet heading south through the woods, which came in handy to count the 500 feet I felt I needed to walk and look quickly down. And then it hit me. There's no way the chest is exactly on the boundary line because surely the people servicing the boundary would have come across it. Either way, I searched the bottom of every tree up to 200 feet of either side of it, but came out empty handed. There were a lot of bones everywhere, too, and found a patch of gray dirt that had what appeared to be buffalo and bear prints. There was also quite a few trash items like beer cans, which reminded me of what you have said before. It was somewhat darker in there given the thick trees, so of course we had to be brave to go in there, and braver after the evidence of bones. We didn't want to add our bones to the mix. Also, we didn't want a park ranger to show up and tell us we weren't supposed to be there. We also found evidence we weren't the only ones searching for the chest. At the top of the bend, there was a small dug up piece of wood with a nail on it, which led me to assume someone was not only searching but cheating and using a metal detector. Anyways, I could write a book out of all the adventures we had this week, but I'll leave it at this. This is my fourth and final trip up here to search for the chest. If I ever return, it will be out of tradition, not treasure hunting. This means I'm officially retiring from the search. Last year I had said the same, but given I had gotten injured searching in Earthquake Lake and cut my time short, I decided to give it one more go. Clearly, if it's in this area, I am missing something very important. I am also confident now that the chest is buried. Nature has taken care of that. Because if it's at the bottom of a pine tree, there are layers upon layers of pine needles covering it. If it's anywhere else, sage grass has covered it up as well. I just don't see it being exposed anymore. That said, it proves my theory that the poem, if deciphered correctly, should lead you directly to the chest where all you have to do is look down at your feet. Just like a pirate treasure has you standing where X marks the spot, meaning it definitely tells us a specific distance we have to walk to find it, because 1,000 years from now, how else would it be found? Now that I am done searching, I can finally buy the Too Far to Walk and Once Upon a While memoirs. While you said there are hints in those that could help, I refuse to read them since you also said all we need is the thrill of the chase. I'm driving through Santa Fe on my way back to Temple. Hopefully, Collected Works is open, given this whole virus stuff. Thank you for the memories, Forrest. I have shared your stories with many people, some of which have been inspired like me. Last year, I gave away my Thrill of the Chase book to a kid at the Earthquake Visitors Center. This year, I have yet to find anyone I could do the same with. The second one I bought. So on my way out, I'll be leaving the book on the spot where I believe you sat and wrote a letter to Peggy in the area
Hmm.
where I believe the chest to be, under a pine tree at the top of the bend across the Medicine River below Baker's Hole. Hopefully, you forgive me for doing such a thing. Sincerely, Reynaldo. P.S. Thank you for replying to my email recently. Not only did it surprise me, but it meant the world to me. That was that email.
So, what does he say about the pictures?
That's the next one. It says, I forgot. Hey, Toby, I forgot to attach some pictures to my last email. Notice how the bend resembles a creek, but it's not. By definition, a creek is also a narrow, sheltered waterway, which fits the line in the poem perfectly, in my opinion. Also, the poem opens with the line, alone in there, and ends with brave and in the wood. By definition, wood as a noun means a small wooded area. I strongly believe Forrest indeed focused on the nouns and used them in that manner. One reason I believe Douglas Preston said in Christie's interview that he heard something new that he had not heard before. He was referring to Forrest hinting about the use of the nouns. As an author, he caught on to that. I've also always believed Forrest's thing about omegas is in reference to the bends in
Hmm.
Baker's Hole he loves so much and describes in the Flywater chapter. Who knows? The chest might be there somewhere in the small wooded area, but in Forrest's words, for me, it's now too far to walk.
So we didn't go this far back. We were about 200 feet from this area when we were there, and we didn't even know the treasure was there. Well, Reynaldo, we hope you continue to watch the show. We will miss your presence in the hunt for Forrest
Maybe
Fenn's
you'll come
treasure.
up with a New Mexico solution
Yeah,
and
a lot easier. You won't have to travel
be
so
a lot
much.
closer to Texas.
Roger that.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, what else you got?
I got Wayne Ross. It's got a bunch of maps in it.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Go ahead and start reading. I'll pull the maps out.
Can we narrow the search area? Hey, Toby and Shelley. I thought I would send you a few images I found while I was looking for ways to reduce the vast size of the search area for Forrest Fenn's treasure. I've always believed the treasure was in New Mexico for the same reasons you have used for some time. But this year, after a few boots on the ground in New Mexico, I'm more open to considering other states. But I wanted to see if I could use some of Forrest's guidelines to reduce the search area in the various states.
I'm going to the screenshot while you're doing this.
The first one I thought would be fairly easy to check were the altitude restrictions Forrest has placed on where the treasure is located. On the Today Show, he gave two hints regarding elevation limits. Forrest has said where the chest is located is above 5,000 feet in elevation and below 10,200 feet in elevation. I wanted to see if I could find or create a map of the areas in each search state between these elevations. I was able to find these simple elevation maps for each state and thought I would share the images with you guys and the search community. These maps basically confirm what we already knew, that most of the Rocky Mountains are above 5,000 feet in elevation. But it is interesting to also consider the areas that are above 10,200 feet and see where we can eliminate search areas. Attached are screenshots I took of each state elevation map. It was fortunate that the legend for these maps used elevation ranges similar to the limits Forest set for altitude. The map's legend shows all areas of each state between 5,000 to 10,000 feet as one color and anything above 10,000 feet in another color. This is almost the same area that Fenn's has set for the location of the treasure. 10,000 feet in elevation is just 200 feet below Fenn's uppermost limit of 10,200 feet. Here are the maps. You can see the legend. Please share with your audience and feel free to call me if you want to discuss. While this info is interesting, it was not strategically that helpful. Identifying these areas in each state is just part of a basic fact finding I wanted to do to see if it would reduce my search area. The next step in a thoughtful approach would be to take these maps and overlay other geographic areas you could rule out for other reasons: reservation lands, national parks, private property, etc. Thanks for looking. Keep searching. Regards, Wayne Ross.
So it's not actually a bad idea when you consider it, because let me go back to, well, Colorado is a good example, right? So this area here, the dark orange area, that's the area above 10,000 feet. And the reason I know that is Mount Elbert is 14,488 feet, or 408 feet. That was the mountain that was on when I got struck by lightning. So you could say that this lighter colored area is actually the area between 5,000 and 10,000 feet, which is damned interesting because, like he said in his email, the only thing that you'd have to worry about is the extra 200 feet of altitude above 10,000 feet. But that's pretty significant. The search area in Colorado is huge. The search area in New Mexico, there's Wyoming. So all of that is search area in Wyoming. Wow. Montana is the same way. Montana is, so, yeah. I don't know if this is helpful. You know, we knew that when he gave those numbers that they were relatively arbitrary, that he wasn't really giving you, and I think what Wayne has done is proved it. It's not going to help you find the treasure. There's just, you know, most of the Rocky Mountains are above 5,000 feet and below 10,000 feet. I mean, the good news is the Rio de los Pinos is in the right area, so we're good there. And so is Cimarron. All right. What else you got?
That's all I got.
All right.
What do you got?
I don't know whether I want to read this or not. So every once in a while, I get no, not every once in a while. I'm going to say once every 2 weeks, I get an angry letter, and normally I don't read them. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get through this.
Mean tweets.
Yeah, mean tweets. But I thought I'd read this one because this one is really angry. And it was over. It's confusing at best because it starts out angry. I was thinking about, let me read it as if how it's written. But then you get halfway through the thing and it gets kind of, you know. Anyway, this is from Tim Zielinski. He says, Toby, I flamed you on HOR. That's Hint of Riches. That's Kpro's website. She actually had to take the post down. And Tim, people haven't used flame since, 1998. Anyway, I flamed you on HOR because I reached out to you in earnest with a solution to Forrest Fenn's riddle. And your response was to send me a form request for $50. The reason I do that is because I get 10 of those a week. And I don't mind listening to them, but there's a point at which you've got to do something to make up for the fact that you're listening to theories that are taking your time. And there's nothing, I've never quite understood why it was so important for anyone to share their theory with me. There's nothing I can tell you. I don't know where the treasure is. I can't tell you if it's right or wrong. And I have yet to hear one that would cause me to jump out of my seat and say, oh, let's partner on this thing. Let's see. I flamed you on Hint of Rich because I reached out to you in earnest with a solution to Forrest Fenn's riddle. He has a solution. And your response was to send me a form request for $50. I don't know what else to do. I understand you're monetizing the chase. No, I'm monetizing my YouTube channel. And this is a process of yours, but consider the possibility that I'm a little bit different. So far, honestly, you're not any different from a lot of the other. You're a little bit angrier. If you were standing where I am, your petty little response would incense the hell out of you too, except that I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't send my theory to someone else and ask them to validate it. I simply wouldn't do that. So if I had sent it and you sent it me back, lesson learned, right? The reason you haven't saw, and like I said, I get one of these about every 2 weeks, so I've gotten used to it. The reason you haven't solved Fenn's poem, which I mentioned on the Hint of Riches, is because you're so damned sure of yourself. If you've got a little more curious, if you got a little more curious with a mind like yours, you might have a chance. I don't know what you mean by I'm so sure of myself. I don't know where the treasure is, and I readily admit it. And I don't have a theory that I would literally jump into my car and go head up to the mountains to look for. But you want to put that goddamn phony newscaster rolling background up, use your intellect to play, quote, the expert, unquote, yada fucking yada. You know what?
Sassy's not here. She'd put you in.
Yeah, I should already have. We're going to lose our monetization on this. So I've been in this since 2013. I've had 34 recons in all 4 search states. I've done 400 blog posts and over 500 YouTube videos on this subject. So I don't consider myself an expert, but I'm here, right? And you're the one that asked me if I would read your theory, so you must think I'm an expert too. Toby, I challenge you to step down off your goddamn imaginary high horse for 2 seconds and be a real man. You need help, brother.
Yes, be a real man and do exactly what I tell you to do.
Yeah, exactly. You'll find that in me, there's a real man too. Oh, maybe this is a pass. I don't know.
Ooh.
Not another heavy-breathing yokel excited about their Homer Brown du jour. That's what it sounds like.
Sorry, Rio Rancho. I think he's talking to you.
But just a real person out there living life who happens to understand the way Forrest Fenn thinks and by virtue of that fact has figured out his chase. I don't know how you can claim you don't sound like everybody else, because right now you're sounding like everybody else. Or every other email that I get. Keeping in mind, I could easily have just addressed you from some other email, Addy, and brushed our unfortunate beginning under the rug. No, you chose to write this email instead. I am choosing to move forward in attempting to talk to you because any degree of deceiving others makes me feel like I'm being untruthful, and that's not how I'm trying to live. Unlike Forrest Fenn, sell is not in my answer to the meaning of life, and I don't need anything from you. I honestly reached out to you because I have zero chase community, and I just needed a friend, someone intelligent and in the know, in whom I could confide.
I think this guy needs
Counseling.
how to make a friend lessons.
Yeah. And you send me a form mail requesting $50. I did, and I would do it again. I'm sorry. That's the only choice I've got. All right.
I think we should play your promo on this note.
There we go. Tim Zielinski. This is for, where is it? Did I get rid of it?
I don't think so.
This is for you. In order to start this search, you have to do the fundamentals. If you have an objective that is finding a treasure, you have a series of milestones that you need to meet in order to find that treasure. Because if you don't have a precise point from which to start, you will never find the treasure that was hidden. Call and talk to me about your theory of finding this treasure. This is Toby Younis. What's your name? And what's your question? Wait. Hold on. So we just did begin at where warm water's hollow. But how does that tell you where the treasure is? I don't mean to kill your idea. I'm just saying logically. Say, how does that get you closer to the treasure? I'm not going to have this conversation with anyone else. I've done it exclusively for us. And if you want to discuss it further in one of our sessions, I'd be happy to do that. One of our sessions. It's kind of frightening, isn't it?
Yes. You need a
Kind of
coaching
frightening.
session then.
You need a coaching session. You need a
Yeah.
softwares. You need a Shelley Carney coaching session. That's what you need.
Mm. How to make a friend 101.
Yeah. Man, it has all the passive aggressive elements, doesn't it? But you know what? I'm going to follow that up with what I think is the coolest letter I have received in a while. And this one is the kind I like receiving, but I closed the dadgum pictures. He sent some pictures. So here's what he's done. What he did was he wrote an email, but then he sent me a scan of the handwritten mail, I guess snail mail, he was going to send us. So let me go back and get those
Maybe
pictures.
he's not good at typing.
It could very well be. Maybe he was just more comfortable. And it's printed. It's printed in that same kind of Catholic school printing that I learned from the Catholics.
Other teachers probably taught how to print too.
Yeah, true.
Catholic ones.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got 2 pages here, and he said it was okay to share them with you guys. So I will do that. So this is the first page. Here we go. So you can read along with me while I'm doing this. I don't know if you can even see it, but okay. So he says, hi, dear Toby and Shelley. I hope you enjoy my letter. Please refer to me as Sam. He does include his last name, but I won't give it to you. Only, I hope you are both doing well during these unprecedented times. I'll be listening for my letter on your show. I've watched you both a couple of times, and I hope this draws you a nice little crowd and hope for new and wonderful things to come. Warmest regards, Sam. Okay, so I'm going to be reading from the handwritten note that you see on the screen. Forest Fenn regarding Forest Fenn treasure. Dear Toby and Shelley, by way of background, I'm a paralegal in New York City. A single mom. Oh, she's a Samantha.
She.
Yeah. She's a Samantha. By way of a background. Oh, that's why it's a legal page, of course. Because she's a paralegal in New York City. A single mom to a dashing young United States Marine. I first heard of the Forest Fenn treasure back during 2017. I just happened to take a break from my heavy workload and logged onto Yahoo. There I had read about a young man who was in a raft, had died searching for the Forest Fenn treasure. There are opinions about whether or not they were actually searching for the treasure when the young man died. Well, as soon as I saw the word treasure, I was hooked. I grew up watching my father metal detecting, and at the age of 7, I was joining him at his meets, searching and meeting, which took place in New Jersey and New York. Anyway, I figured, how hard could it be to find this treasure? Good question, Sam. We all, you know what? We all say that, Sam. Everybody has said that. Once they hear about it, they go, how hard could it be to find? I started with researching every single word in the poem, looking up their meanings and synonyms. To say I used the internet a lot is an understatement. Every word brought me many conclusions, and with the help of his book and map, I validated my one conclusion. I'm sure most feel the same as I. We do. We've all been through this. I'm sure most feel the same as I. I am also sure there must be someone else after the treasure who also knows where it is, like I do. The letter that I just read, apparently. I am also sure there must be someone else after the treasure who knows where it is, like I do. It took, okay, Sam, you officially get a rooster call. I left no stone unturned. In the meantime, I am waiting for, change a page here. I am waiting for my son to have a break in obligations to the United States Marine Corps to do our trip together. It will be a mother and son trip before he takes on his full-time role as a husband at the age of 20, when his wife returns from service shortly too. Oh, Marine's getting married.
Sounds like a book. Sounds like a Hallmark movie, in fact.
Yeah, it does. We come from a large military family. So let's get to the exciting part and get everyone's blood pumping. Her writing is excellent. Her punctuation and her word usage is very nice. So let's get to the exciting part and get everyone's blood pumping during these unprecedented times, brackets, and also note that I have taken my feelings to the lawyers I work with. They do believe I have something, close brackets. Here is what I can tell you. 1, once you figure out the key, oh, that's interesting. So she puts key, she doesn't put the entire word in a quote, a single quote mark. It's like she does the K only. Once you find out the key to the poem, you will have unlocked directions to the treasure. Based on this, the treasure is 2 miles in, tops. 2, focus on the area of Forrest Fenn's life he doesn't talk about.
Okay.
Which area doesn't he talk about?
After he got cancer and got well again, he doesn't talk much about the 90s.
Yeah, but he was in New Mexico. She says focus on the area of Forrest Fenn's life he doesn't talk about. Does she mean area as in period or area as in locale? Maybe she's talking about the locale. I mean the period. Number 3, also, once you have figured out the key, now she put it in quote marks. Once you figure out the key, you will have the, quote, map, unquote, open parentheses, not referring to his map in his book. This is something totally different, unquote. This allows one to go in confidence. 4, the home of Brown and the Blaze are in close proximity to each other. All the best, Sam, May 8th, 2020. Is that today? Yeah, that's today.
Yeah.
So see, how gracious is that? Sam, that was a beautifully written letter, and you are experiencing pretty much what everyone who enters this chase for whatever reason is experiencing. We all believe that we know precisely where it is after the reading of the book. We go there. We learn 2 things. Number 1, the problem is significantly larger than we imagined. And number 2, our theory isn't worth a darn. We got to go back and do a real one. And I have pictures of my first one that proves all of that. So
has she been to New Mexico or Colorado or the Rocky Mountain states before?
She
because being from New Jersey
or New York, yeah. That's the one thing you find out.
Kind of different than what it is like out here.
The Pine Barrens of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she'll continue to communicate with us and share some of her thoughts. So, Sam, thank you for that. Best wishes to your son and his future bride. We look forward to hearing about that the next time we talk to you. And of course, if you feel like it one of these nights, please feel free to call in to our number. That's 202-815-1171. And we'll be happy to talk to you about all of this. Because after all, I'm an expert.
That's right. X is a has-been and a spurt is a drip under pressure. Isn't that right?
I am not even going to go there. I am not.
Access denied.
Yeah, that's where we're at with that. Okay. Where was it? Let me see if I got that one. Where is it?
I don't know.
All right, why don't you go ahead? Oh, you know what? Mel, sent us a super chat, and it went up.
Oh.
You were reading that long email from Reynaldo, and it already went off the screen. Mel, I did see it. And thank you for that super chat. And no, the package has not arrived as of today, because when it arrives, my UPS store sends me a text message indicating that has arrived, and I haven't seen that. All right. Why don't you do your hello to the chat room?
Alrighty. You gonna play the
Yeah, of course.
video?
Of course. You were just. I was doing it while you were looking. I was getting ready to
Oh, okay.
to. Okay.
All right. So, hello to all our friends in the chat room, including Alan Cage. You know who it is. Clueless Geezer, Cheryl, the Satsy, one of our mods. DB Cooper, JK Pioneer, Hooli, another mod. K Pro, another mod. Brian Yu. Hey.
Sassy did give me a time. Sassy, that was not my language. That was his language.
Tony Henman's here.
Hey,
Davio22.
Tony, I am sending you a couple of text messages tonight from people who asked that you send them. You promised them, if they let you know, that you send them one of your pendants. But one of them left me a voicemail, so I'm going to send you his phone number, and you're going to have to call them. Okay? Then send me a text. I guess you.
Mr. T. Maverick 1, not important. MJ Inser. Michael Flanagan, Texas James, William, Cheryl. William says, see, Shelley is doing good for Toby. A couple of years ago, Toby would have snapped.
Yeah, well, she actually is doing good for me. You're right.
That's right.
I would have snapped. There would have been a lot of cursing and pointing of fingers, but I don't do it. Now
Now it's a chuckle.
Now it's just a chuckle. I think after you've seen as many as I have.
Yeah, that makes a difference too.
Yeah.
We got Cheryl, DB Cooper, Heavy Loads, Sakar.
Sassy says, reply to him that he is in timeout, per Sassy.
Journeyman. Toby, good thing you have a church.
Yeah, to go to on Saturdays, right?
Larry Smith, Clueless Geezer, Brian Eagle, Shadowcaster, Chasing Indy. Doug Carver. King Catcher Jim King.
Dang.
Larry Smith.
like
When
those,
will they open New Mexico?
There is a very good chance we'll open up at the end of May, because we literally didn't come anywhere near our peak, and we are on the backside of that curve just because we have a really good governor and kept it in control, except for the northwest part of the state, which are tribal lands, and the Navajos are experiencing a lot of heartbreak. I don't know how else to describe it. It's our hot spot.
Including Gallup.
Oh, hey, Ronaldo says, a Gypsy's Kiss. I'm back in Texas, just crossed the border, still have 9 hours to make it home. I declined to take the Santa Fe route back home. Everything is still closed, so I decided stay long. So I decided not to stay long. There should be a not in there. Well, good to have you back, Ronaldo, and I understand it's better that you just kind of drive through New Mexico, although I don't think our state police are stopping anybody like they are in Wyoming and Montana.
It's just that there's nothing open.
Yeah.
You know, you can get fast food at the drive-through, but you can't go in and use the bathroom. You
Right.
could. It's like, I don't want to go on a road trip right now.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to stop at.
Well, there is behind every piece of mesquite or sagebrush. That's
Well, I
about the
imagine the
choices.
gas stations, but
Yeah.
that's it.
So, Ronaldo, as Sassy says, we did read your letter and we showed your picture. That was a very heartfelt letter. Very well done. And, you can't always, honestly, every time I've probably retired from the chase as many times as I've retired from work. And I end up going back. I just can't get away
I
from it.
do not let you retire.
Yeah, Shelley's not going to let me retire from work.
You retire,
She's
you
just
might
gonna
die.
she's gonna work me till
Give
I
up.
die.
So there's nothing to do. Why you live any longer?
I'm gonna be 80 and I'll still be going, hey, listen to the softer side, folks.
Okay, that's what you're going to sound like.
Yeah,
in
that's what I'm going to sound like.
9 years.
Yeah, okay, maybe I
9
won't.
years.
All right, I won't. No, I'll probably sound the same. I'll just be
Yeah.
more wrinkled
Probably.
and less hair.
Let's see. Maybe. We have Charles Chapman. Maverick 1. JBC says, that was fun. The thrill. Toby, the used car salesman.
Yeah, always hustling, brothers and sisters. Always hustling.
Nothing wrong with
I got to tell you,
making an honest living.
No. I got to tell you a story.
cars.
My father and his 2 brothers owned 3 car dealerships, 2 in Taos, 1 in Santa Fe. And because my father was the oldest, he was the CEO of their corporation, and he ran the biggest, the largest of the auto dealerships in Santa Fe. And so I used to go over there once in a while and just kind of follow him around or sit in his office. But on Thursday afternoons, he would take off his suit coat and his tie, and he would roll up his sleeves, and he would go to the used car lot, and he would sell cars on the used car lot. He loved selling so much. He loved the idea of the sale so much. He'd go to that used car lot all afternoon and sell used vehicles to the people that came in. Now, my father also had a heart of gold. So I've told you stories about one time he traded a pickup truck for 400 pounds of pinon. One time he traded a vehicle for a lever action rifle for which the ammunition hadn't been made for 22 years, but it was a really good looking rifle. So yeah, the man had a heart of gold. The people would tell you, Toby Younis Sr. Actually, he was Toby Younis Jr. My grandfather was Toby Younis Sr. I'm Toby Younis III, but it's kind of pretentious. People would tell you,
You are an expert.
Toby will give you the shirt off his back. That the man had a heart as big as a elephant. Heart.
So Reynaldo Vasquez gave us $9.99. It says, of course I'm sticking around and watching plenty of AGK. I still have to join the member vault and share all my research.
You know what, Reynaldo? That would be the best thing in the world, because I'd love to hear. I know you've put a lot of time into this and a lot of effort, and we would be very proud to have you in the member vault. And I think you'd like it. We had a great time last night.
So he gets a ka-ching.
He gets a, oh yeah, he does. Not only that.
All right. We also have Carrie Galloway,
So let me answer Amanda
AK
Truax's
Pioneer.
question. She says, Toby, are you familiar with the book of Tobit? No, I am not, Amanda. I am very
It's like
familiar.
one page in the Bible, right?
Right. I am familiar with the book of Jonah because that's where my family name comes from. The book of Jonah.
Aurora Peace. The book of Jonah. Aurora Peace. Los Amaya. I do my best. Reynaldo.
Oh, listen. So King Catcher Jim King says, a Gypsy's Kiss, after watching all the archives, I guess our stuff, I hope that's what it means, I'd like to officially apologize for any rooster crowing I might have done. It's eye-opening, isn't it?
Let's see. We got Colorado with his blue wrench.
West Guy TAS says, shadow, so it very, very casually. So where, oh, damn it, I lost it here. Shadow,
How
so
are you in the park?
who you working for? And Shadow says, West Guy TAS, none of your damn business. Leave me alone.
The Google is big today.
Private-
Nemo's here. Our winner from Wednesday.
Well, yeah. It's still sitting here. I should show it to him again. Look at Demo.
We have Carrie Dalby saying Indiana in the house.
Indiana. Gary, Indiana. Look at that. Nemo, there's your. I'm sorry that camera won't focus that close, but
Matches your shirt.
I hope you have someone special in your life to whom you would like to give this.
Or wear it yourself.
Toby, you should go on Entertainment Circuit and do impressions. I'm going to do impressions of
He
searchers.
only does one good one.
Yeah. Which one?
The Burqueño guy.
Oh, the Burqueño guy.
The
Juan Jose.
Juan
Juan
Jose.
Jose.
He's my favorite. Christopher Robin is
Sarah
here.
Rox is in the room. One of
All
our
right.
mods and the better half of the
Zozo
Colorado
Rocks
Sarah Rox.
and Sarah Rocks. Are they related? Zozo Rocks
And Sarah
Rocks.
Rox. So Belkacem Tamarini, where are you from? The name sounds Estonian, but I don't know for sure. So tell us where you're from. It's a cool name.
Michael Wimmer. Kelly Twiss. Mr. T. Larry Smith.
Daily, I'm doing the live stream about the studio on Saturday, May 30th. I was going to do it 2 weeks from now, but that happens to be Memorial Day weekend, so I'm going to stay away from that. So it's Saturday, May 30th, and I'll have more information. I'll have a sign-up page for you next Wednesday as well.
Always last in line and Heart of Gold. Ha, see, you weren't always last in line. Ha.
Uh-huh.
Henny outie.
Amanda says, she's referring to the book of Tobit again. It has some Tobisms in the story, cool parallels. You play the part in my mental imagery. The book of Tobit.
John Miller,
Nemo says,
$4.99.
Nemo says that the pendant's going to his wife.
Oh, very nice. I'd rather pay $50 for a wise friend than hang with some of the unwise friends that I have.
You know
says
what?
John Miller.
That's my drinking theory, John Miller. Can you do some?
Oh, 777 from John Wayne Blaze.
Hey, John Wayne Blaze. Thank you for that. So Sassy says, can you do Senor Wences?
Gotta do the hand.
What was his little the little mouse's name? What was the mouse?
Tito?
Huh?
No, I don't know. Tito?
No.
I don't know. I'm not that old.
Yeah, that was not Lawrence Welk. What's his name? And no, for a really big shoe. What's his name?
Ed Sullivan
Ed
Theater.
Sullivan. The Ed Sullivan Theater. I do remember Topo Gigio.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, that was Senor Wences and Topo Gigio.
Topo.
I actually used to be able to do that, but I can't remember it. It's been a long time. So what did Tony do that was...
Mr. USA China 1.
Mr. USA China 1.
My Daily Agenda. Hello to the room. Craig O'Hare. Roy just died from corona.
What?
Siegfried and Roy. Roy just died.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's true or not, but
Well, let's check
this
it.
person said. Roger Garcia. West Guide TAS.
Let's see.
Debbie Teal, 93
Legendary
Butterscotch.
Siegfried and Roy magician Roy Horn dies at 75 of
he's quite
coronavirus.
a lot older than I had imagined he would have been.
Well, he had a lot of work done. And he did die of coronavirus.
Wow.
That's sad. Wasn't he the one that was attacked by, didn't he, one of the tigers get mad at one of them and he started just...
Bite him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Headbloom.
Can you think of
Jerry
any
Harris,
good
James
reason to go
Bailey.
into a cage with a bunch of tigers?
Might as well go in with a bear.
A Whisperer says, "Hey Toby, I like your bowling shirt." You know what? When I first saw them, that was kind of my reaction. You know where I got these? From a company that sells NASCAR racing wear. So these are like team shirts. You'd eventually put your team name on the back. But they had a bunch of different colors and styles. So whenever I can see something that I go like, oh, I'll wear those. I just get a bunch of them. Toby, give us a little Ed Sullivan.
Scott J.
We're going to do a really big shoe. I don't remember Ed Sullivan. I don't remember these things.
Heart of Gold.
Really big shoe.
Terry McKernan. Chasing Indy. T. Lay. Julian Monin. I thought it was Jorg Monin. Now it's a new one.
Hey, don't forget, you can send a text message right now to 202-815-1171. You can also leave a voicemail. And if you would like me to call you before we open up the phone lines, send me a text message and tell me that you'd like us to call you.
Heavy Lows is here.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
The Montanan.
It's okay. It's all right.
So no one says. You know what?
Sturmware.
I remember as a child. Hang on, you guys don't remember this. I remember as a child, getting markers and drawing, the lipstick and the eyes for the little.
It's all right.
Man, that was a long time ago. That would have been-
Swami. Ian Lerfalong. Debbie Teal. Hey, GK, I was up in my search area. This is from John Wayne. I was up in my search area. Now it's the walk of shame. Was on Zoom with fellow
Oh.
searchers acting like a rooster. Now I'm eating humble pie.
Oh, do I have a
Been there, done that.
Yeah, we've done a lot with that.
Hal Gibson. Crickets.
It was where he says, I live in Charlotte near NASCAR. Yeah, go to the NASCAR museum, and I'll bet you they sell them there.
Got Nathan C.
Anyone remember the spinning plates? We're having this Ed Sullivan. Yeah.
Lamron. Sarah Rocks. Belkacem Tamarani. Tamerny. I guess you already said that one.
Tamarini?
CJ.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
Future Gold Channel. Amanda Trex.
Anyone remember the spinning plates? That's where we first saw the Beatles. I remember I wasn't a fan, but my little sister was, and she watched that. That was when we still had black and white TV screens that were that big, and she sat there and watched them and cried. That was her response to it. She was screaming and crying watching the Beatles. I was going like, why is their hair like that? What's wrong with their hair? Why aren't they doing the military cut
You
like
were
we do?
watching it too?
I was watching my sister watching it. I wasn't a fan. I didn't get interested until the Rolling Stones came on. That's when I got interested. I was a big fan of the Rolling Stones.
Fenist 4 is here. Joe Sharon. Topo Gijo.
for the room, as Sazzy's saying, for the room,
Avis
Senor Wences was a ventriloquist who had a Mexican puppet that was a face painted on his hand. Yeah, he just put the eyes and lipstick, and then he had the little body hanging out this way.
You all right? Yeah, I'm all right.
They can't see you do that.
Oh, they
You're
can't.
like off the camera.
Okay,
there.
well, it's because my right hand.
Roy Burton. Rockfish.
Ken Blythe says Charlie Sheen made those shirts popular. Look where it got him.
Oh, yeah. Pirate 45.
You don't know, man.
Tiger's blood. I got tiger's blood. Isn't that how it goes? Something like that.
Daily Agenda reminds me. You don't know, man. You weren't there. How many Vietnam veterans does it take to screw a light bulb?
You don't know, man.
You weren't there.
Ben Wise.
Have you been wise?
Just need cargo shorts. I think he's got those on too.
Cargo shorts, brothers and sisters.
The whole Charlie Sheen.
The whole Charlie Sheen. I actually he did one of the first Navy. It was a terrible Navy SEAL movie. The Navy SEALs probably hated it. But it was an okay one. They were after the bad guys. The bad guys had turbans, you know.
Jim V, Wayne Ross, Guy Ward. What else? Ken Blythe,
I think you've got everybody.
Mojo Man Mike.
So did Tamarini, did Belkacem ever tell us where he was from?
I don't know. There, the spot.
Well, it's definitely Eastern European, but it sounds very
Yes, I have-
Estonian. John Wayne telling us his sorrows. Another boots
I
on
have
the
to
ground.
give you a call so he can get his.
Yeah,
It's the first time I am on
Flashbacks.
direct show.
we had a call. Let me. I think he's in my contacts list. Hang on. Let's see what John Wayne has to say.
If he hasn't changed his number. Is the snow still fall in New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana?
There is a little bit in Wyoming and Montana, some in the upper reaches of Colorado. There is some at the very tops of the mountains in New Mexico, but most of it's gone. Most of it's gone. Rio Grande Joe gave us. Apparently, the East Coast is supposed to get a big winter storm this weekend.
What's the title today? The title is Friday Fenndango.
Friday Fenndango.
I'm not seeing an answer. Oh, here it is. Algeria.
Oh, Algeria. I love Algeria.
Algeria. It borders on the Adriatic. That's all I remember.
Algeria.
Oops.
Good people in Algeria. But that's not an Algerian name.
Well, next.
Toby gives Charlie Sheen. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Shadowcaster said, where's Shadowcaster? Is he in Montana? We actually had some flurries yesterday. That storm is supposed to move east, pick up a lot of energy, and it's supposed to blanket the East Coast. That's what I saw that in the snow. Oh, Sassy says she got snow this morning. So yeah, brothers
Wow.
and sisters, lots of
Seems
buku
late
snow.
in the year for that.
All right, where do we go from here? We go to text
Outside
messages.
to go for a walk because we have good weather here.
Oh, geez, bunch of text messages. Oh, geez. All right, heard your response to my question about the package. The USPS tracking indicator was delivered on Thursday to your address. Well, my address, Mel, is a UPS store. If you send it to the Enchanted Hills Boulevard, that's a UPS store. I don't think I got a text message. Let me check. Oh, it's on my other phone. I'll check later, Mel. I go over there on Saturdays anyway, so I'll check tomorrow. Yeah, it doesn't come to my house. Ken from Oklahoma just caught a bit of that letter. I have given thought that Fenn may have put the treasure below the home if Brown, meaning of, much like the detour to read the school sign during every Yellowstone trip. Rest of the clues could be metaphorical. I'm with you on that one, Ken. Call me if you get a chance to discuss poem.
They're
Okay, that's a 501.
straightforward.
Okay,
There's no
remember.
subterfuge in that poem. We're
Toby,
watching
you may
a
call
video
from
last
Randy.
night.
Wow, we got a whole bunch of people who want us to call. Hi, Toby. Sherry from Pennsylvania. Think you may have not ever showed the high-res pics and emails I sent from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. I could resend them if you no longer have them before the show. So, Sherry, I opened them, and they're little tiny images. You're sending me the thumbnails. You're not sending me the big images. When I open them, they just show the thumbnails. And that was true of the last 5 that you sent from the Denver Museum. If you could send me the originals, because all I'm getting is thumbnails. That's why I didn't show them. I showed the first 2, and they were like that
They're
as
too
well.
hard to see.
Too hard to... It's
TT.
too hard to see. Let's see. Okay, Randy, I did get your pictures. The problem is there's no way for me to get the pictures during the show. There's no way for me to get the pictures from the phone so that I could show them to the folks. So if you would send all of that information to a gypsyskiss@gmail.com, you'll see it scrolling above my head here in just a moment. Because I do want to see them. Oh, this is from, let's see. So this is from Jim. He's watching us on the big screen. Says, cheers, don't tell anyone. Oh. Don't tell anyone about the discussion we had last night in the, it's usually in the 60s in Ohio. It snowed.
You mean the one that you posted to YouTube?
Yeah, accidentally. That's why it got to, it had 28 views in about 6 minutes. I'm going like, what? It snowed today. Time for a drink. Great coach. Cheers. Reference to Shelley. And he responded Algeria too. So he must know.
Borders on the
Nor is it near the Rio Grande River. So what is the consensus of how far is near the Rio Grande River subjective? Forest Fenn in Prado.
Probably not in the Rift, huh?
So I think what you could do is if you look at a map of New Mexico, and it actually starts in Colorado, the Rio Grande Rift is the lowest point in something referred to as the Rio Grande Rift. And the Rio Grande Rift on one side is bordered by mountains. Some of them the Sangre de Cristos, but some of them others, a lot of them the mountains in Colorado, and it's bordered on the east side by mountains. But the Rio Grande Rift is a flat area in between, and Fenn has said the Rio Grande is not in the Rocky Mountains. And the reason he says that is if you look at the Rio Grande Rift, he's right. The Rio Grande Rift, including the Rio Grande River, is not in the Rocky Mountains. I can show you a map.
I think it was actually Albania that I was supposed to be singing about.
Well,
Algeria.
No, it's he wrote Algeria.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
But I think the song actually is about Albania.
Oh.
I just realized. They both start with Al.
Okay.
And end with an A.
Yeah, you're right. They do that. Oh, look. You can tell I've looked this up before, huh? Rio Grande Rift. If you're a master of plate tectonics. Let me see which is the best map. There's one that I used for the I think it's this one. One that I used. Okay, this one's pretty good. Open image in new tab. Oh, little tiny image. Let's see. So what's the reason the Rio Grande the Rio Grande Rift is an aborted rift? It didn't get finished. It started and it didn't get finished. And had it gotten finished, the west part of the United States would have been separated from the rest of us. We'd have been Santa Fe. Let's see. I guess we would have been on the east, and it would have gone with California. But it aborted. They didn't finish the rift. I'm trying to find a really good map to explain this. None of these are good. They show the actual geology as opposed to how. Oh, here's a good one. Let's see. Okay, here we go. See if that's big enough. Ugh, that's not much bigger. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is a map of the New Mexico part of the Rio Grande Rift. There's the Colorado Plateau. That's where Mesa Verde in northern New Mexico is. These are the southern high plains. That was once the Western Interior Seaway. But you can see here's the Rio Grande Rift, and it's bordered by the mountains. It's not actually in the mountains. That star right there is Santa Fe. So you can see how wide the rift is above Santa Fe. Southern Rocky Mountains on one side and Southern Rocky Mountains on the other, and it splits them. And if I remember correctly, the mountains on the west were the result of tectonic action, and the mountains on the west were the result of volcanic action, and the mountains on the east were the result of tectonic action. I'm sure if Rick was here, he could correct me. But the Rio Grande's in the middle of that rift, which is not in the mountains, which is, I think, the point. Whoa, where's personal attacks? Who is making personal attacks right there, Sassy?
It's like West Guide TAS was attacking Shadowcaster.
Whoa, hey, you guys. I hope it's all in fun.
Did it get taken care of?
Let's see. All right. Guys, take it easy, because you don't want Sassy to toss you out of the room. That is no fun.
Go to your corners,
Go
gentlemen.
to your corners, because this is not the place to bring an argument to, as you can tell. We'll just make fun of it. All right. It is not the Rio Grande. Let's see. Candy says, I've got a hunch that not far but too far to walk. Give us our exact search location and home of Brown. Wow. Once you figure out the connections, the hints in the book stand out to you like a sore thumb. In short, I'm absolutely done with my firehole solve and went back to one of my old solves from 2015. Wow. Where was she looking in 2015? Send us a text. Ken from Oklahoma.
People only want to say, oh, look, I know everything. I saw it all in the book, and you don't know what it is. Ha, ha, ha.
Well,
that's really helpful. Thank you.
That's because we all do that.
I don't.
So, well, yeah, but we've learned that lesson, haven't we?
I just tell it like it is, man.
Ken in Oklahoma just caught a bit of that letter. Oh, okay. Ken in Oklahoma, it's right on the map. Yellowstone Trip was the clues. Okay. Let's see. In the episode, this is from Jim in Ohio. And he agrees with you. The song is about Albania.
Yeah.
In the episode where Diane was proud, Sam was going to finish his degree. Then she was mortified when he told her he was finishing his high school diploma, and Coach found out Sam was sleeping with a teacher and gets A's.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? What are we talking about?
That's the synopsis of that episode of Cheers.
How did we get to the episode of Cheers?
Because Coach was trying to help Sam learn geography for his class so that he would stop sleeping with the teacher and just do the work and get his diploma. So he was teaching him little mnemonics and songs and how to remember things.
Oh. I still don't know how we got there. Were you and Jim holding a discussion offline about?
No, it was the whole Albania.
Oh, is that where that comes from? All right, okay.
Borders on the Adriatic.
Okay.
Come on. TV trivia from the 90s.
Hang on.
90s? Was that on in the 90s or the 80s? Oh, everything's smushed together now. It's just the past. It's all just the past. What are you doing? Are there any more
I'm looking for
texts or voicemails or
two more texts from Candy. I'm searching in Montana and I'm looking for Lewis and Clark. Also, I'm not being a rooster. If you want to answer, if you want an answer to Too Far to Walk, in my opinion, just look at the next line in the poem. And it's the old style emoji.
Not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. I don't know.
So Jim says Toby has no clue. Right, I have no
cryptic
idea what you guys are talking about. Haha, she sang the song. I appreciate the song, LOL. You could monetize that mainly 80s, and it's on Netflix. Great. I
I
don't.
haven't watched it since the 80s. It's very dated.
Honestly, I honestly can say that I don't think I've ever watched a single episode of that program ever.
That's okay.
Is it all right? Then I won't
Yeah.
feel bad.
I mean, it's very
Okay,
dated.
we got to
It
do
was
some.
good. It was good at the time.
We got a couple of voicemails. Let's take care of those. We'll do some callbacks, and then we'll call John Wayne and the other folks that wanted to be called back.
Better hurry.
Okay.
It's quarter after 8.
Oh, geez. Okay.
What, geez?
Oh, geez. From Lakeland, Florida. Is that is that Barry? No, he's from Georgia.
Hey, Toby, I was trying to get on your show. This is Randy from Florida. I sent you some pictures of boots on the ground locations when I was searching in okay, in 2013. I'd like to see if you could take a look at the pictures, especially of the Indian Spring, and if you could tell me your thoughts on the gray stone walkway to the left of the picture of the spring I sent you. Okay, that's location north of Santa Fe in the Southern Rocky Mountains. I sent you about 3 pictures. First of the spring, the route of the Spanish from California to New Mexico, Santa Fe, and a picture of a vault and a picture of a statue. I'd like to hear your comments or your thoughts on that. Thank you.
So, Randy, I will do that on the next show. And the reason is I simply can't see the detail on the phone. So do me a favor, send that same information to gypsykiss@gmail.com, and I'll take a look at it on tomorrow's show for you. All right? Okay.
Remember, as old people, we got to have bigger pictures. We can't see good.
Do you want to say your good nights? I'm about to get on the phone.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the promo, guys, while we make this transition, because I've got to go close Zoom and come back to everybody say bye to Shelley. She's leaving. She's going to work. And then I will call you after the show. All right. So hang on. Let's do how long? The promo is pretty long, right? Let's do the
It's
promo.
about 30 seconds.
Okay, you ready? You ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go from here to Zoom. Ready?
So if you're a brand new searcher, what's the first thing you want to do is read the book. So we're going to read the book. And then we're going to also, at the same time, match it up to the poem. So what did this chapter say to you about what do you see in the poem? How do they fit together? So we're going to work the poem and the book together. Now you can join at any time. It's going to be an open door membership. In the bonus section on the Member Vault, we have added 2 videos that Toby produced.
Is he saying there is stuff in life that isn't worthy of spending time knowing, or that the real test of your intelligence is knowing the stuff that everybody else thinks is not worthy of knowing?
You know, when he talks about no special knowledge is needed to find the treasure, but maybe you need to know those things not worthy of knowing in order to find the treasure.
Okay. Background's there, but I'm not. Hang on. Let's see. Logitech, properties, deactivate, and then activate. There I am. That's good. Okay. There we go. All right. So Shelley and I are using Zoom to talk with one another, and when she leaves, it closes out the Zoom window, and I've got to go back to the Logitech camera in front of me, and that takes just a second. So, all right, let's do some phone calls. Did John Wayne want me to call him back? Jim is still sending me information on Cheers. Let's see. Somebody. Okay. So, Mel, I promise you I will check my UPS store tomorrow. Call me if you get a chance to discuss poem. All right, let's call and discuss. I don't know who this is, so we don't know what's going to happen here.
Hello.
Hey, it's Toby calling to discuss the poem.
Hey, Toby. Good evening.
How are you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Or where am I
This is
calling?
Roy.
Oh, hey, Roy.
This is,
All right.
and
So let's see what we can do in about 10 minutes so we can give some other folks a chance to call in.
okay, let's go quicker.
All right, good.
Let's see. Wanted to discuss the poem in reference to important literature in the book, The Thrill of the Chase. When I first read this and I read the important literature chapter, it didn't really jump off at me that much. I didn't really, I couldn't understand why he was pointing out other literature or other literary figures.
Uh-huh.
I finally kind of flipped back to page 146
Uh-huh.
in the epilogue.
Yeah.
And there's a picture at the bottom of 146 with the axe man, the trees cut down.
Yeah.
There's a moon and a bird.
I'm familiar with it.
Okay. If you look at this, it's basically, you could go right by it and not even give it any thought. But if you do study it just a little bit and look at the moon, and there's a bird, which I believe is a dove. It doesn't have to be a dove. It just makes sense to me. It's a dove.
I think it makes sense. I would agree.
Okay. And some people get a turtle because if you cover up the dove's head, and there's the back of the dove, or the top of the dove toward more of the middle of the moon, has a little head that looks like a turtle, and then the body kind of looks like a turtle. And if that is correct and that's all sketched in there, then what I brought from that was turtle dove. And the turtle dove is a symbol of peace. As he says, go in peace. And it also brings to mind back to important literature, Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote a poem in 1601, and the name of it is called The Phoenix and the Turtle. Are you familiar with it?
I am not.
The Phoenix and the Turtle are about a funeral, a death procession, the approachment of death. It kind of, I'll let you kind of read it yourself.
Okay.
I could read it. It's right here in front of me, but there's no real point in me reading every word.
All right. Well, just tell me what you concluded from that.
What I concluded from that was that he looked at this poem, the phoenix being the bird from the axe's rise.
Forrest Fenn?
Yes, the writer of the poem. That Forrest looked at the phoenix as kind of himself in the way that once he survived cancer, he felt like he was reborn in a certain metaphoric sense. And the turtle is the peace he felt once he decided to put the treasure together and go put it for us all to seek. I think he gained a certain peace from that, and he may have inferred that in some of his interviews or in some of his writings. But if you look at the Phoenix and the Turtle poem, there are inferences where it references some of the thoughts he conveyed in his own poem. So some of the lines that he wrote line up with the apparition of thought in this Phoenix and the Turtle.
How do you mean they line up?
By that, I would mean that like where he may say, and with my treasures bold, there will be a line in the Shakespeare Phoenix and the Turtle that kind of lines up with that. And in this one, there's different interpretations, but there's the poem's only so far. But there's a reference in Shakespeare. It says, property was thus appalled. Property being the treasure. Appalled is kind of bold. There are thoughts that this kind of touches on. Another one may be where it says, I can keep my secret where. And in Shakespeare, he says, truth may seem but cannot be. And hints of riches new and old, Shakespeare says, neither two, not one was called. So there's riches, but it's called two things, but it's actually one thing. So that's what I'm saying. There, in the poem, you have lines of the poem, and then there's lines in this Shakespearean poem, which I believe that picture leads us to, coupled with the fact that he hints Shakespeare was a great writer. And I think the Phoenix and the Turtle ties into the photo and leads us.
The illustration.
Yes, the illustration ties into this poem.
So let's see if we can get somewhere with it. So you've made a connection between the poem and Shakespeare's work. Then you've made a connection between Shakespeare's work and the image at the back of the book in the epilogue. What does all that mean? How does that get us closer?
How does it help us closer to the treasure?
Yeah.
Since it's too long to go totally into, once you look at the lines of Phoenix and the Turtle and you align them with the lines in the poem, which is not that difficult to do because they have distinctive words that lead you to line them up. The lines of Shakespeare hint you to where to look for the treasure. It gives you another place. It gives you some hints on where that treasure may be found. It ties in.
So the rhyming sequence is Renaissance. It's different from. So let me share this with these guys.
It is Shakespeare. This is Shakespeare. First of all, I'll just make this one little point. He was first famous as a poet, not a playwright. This poem is known as the first metaphysical poem.
So I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
Let the bird of loudest lay on the sole Arabian tree, herald sad and trumpet be, to whose sounds chaste wings obey. I studied at the Folger Shakespearean Theater in Washington for 2 of the 3 courses, but that was Shakespeare's theater. There was no poetry involved. So this is the first time I've seen this. So tell me, this is a relatively long poem, and it's written like Shakespeare writes. So quickly tell me what the connection between this poem and Fenn's poem is.
Well, there's many. There's a connection.
All right, just give me 3 connections that you've made. I know I know you said that before. There was many. Just give me 3.
Okay. All right. Number 1, in Not Far But Too Far to Walk, the line in Shakespearean poem is distance and no space was seen. The next line says, Fenn wrote, put in below the home of Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And although I'm not going to fill in all the blanks for everybody, it says his line in Shakespeare says, "Single's nature's double name." Single nature's double name. It's a nature that has a double name. That's how that ties in. If you are looking on your map at your solve, there's something in nature that carries a double name.
So
and that's how you figure out the Homer Brown.
So we're already over our 10 minutes. So
Okay.
tell me this. How did Fenn, how was Fenn influenced by Shakespeare's poem?
I think he was inspired by the metaphysical, the inferences that
And
it gave.
how did you conclude that Fenn was inspired by this poem of Shakespeare's? How did you come to that conclusion?
I came to that conclusion seeing the turtle dove in the moon in the illustration,
Yeah.
and the fact that he hinted that Shakespeare was a great writer.
All right. Okay.
So I jumped from the turtle dove in the moon to Shakespeare to the poem. The turtle dove is the phoenix in this case.
Yeah.
And the turtle is the seeker.
All right. Well, I posted the poem in the chat room, so maybe some of our folks can come and take a look at it. Go take a look at it and come up with some other ideas on how they're connected.
Okay.
What state did you tell me what states you were searching in, or did you say you didn't want to say what state you were searching?
I said I was in one of the four, but I hadn't ready myself to divulge my main one.
All right. Well, maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yes, sir.
You have a good evening.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sounds like might have spent some time in the military. Let's see. Kind of surprised we haven't heard from Marilyn. Somebody else wanted me to call him. Hang on just a second. Let me check real quick. That was Randy. Okay. So now, wait a minute. I'm still missing one there. Give me 1 second. Ken from Oklahoma. The image comes directly from Edgar Allan Poe. Okay. All right. So if you're going, I know I've said this before, send me text messages. Do send me text messages to the 202 number. But if you're going to send me a bunch of imagery that you want me to look at, please send it to a Gypsy's Kiss. Because the phone, here, I will show you my. So I have an iPhone. I don't like the big iPhones. I like the small ones. This is the iPhone SE. That's what I carry. And that's also what I have in the studio. So this isn't one of those screens that you can do deep image analysis on. It's a pain. So send them to a Gypsy's Kiss. Let me undo the. We still have time for calls. So. Okay. Phone lines are open. 202-815-1171. Give me a call. Let's talk about Forrest Fenn. I got to get out of this studio mode. It's confusing. It's confusing me. So let's talk about tomorrow. I am going up north tomorrow, but I will be back in time for Church of the Search. So we'll do Church of the Search at 7 o'clock tomorrow. The survey will close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, and we will share the data with you on Wednesday's show. Okay? And that shouldn't be confusing at all. Sassy, did we take care of this situation? Is there, let's see. No trouble in the room. And Brad and Sarah, I got your text message from this afternoon. I'm having, I wouldn't call it a fight with YouTube, but they are really of no help. They just point you, you get one step and then they point you to another step. So this afternoon, I did send them the information that I had requested of you, and I gave it to the, the empty box that's going to someone. So let's see. Please don't rider that dang bike before the show. Oh, no, I'm not taking the bike with me. This is, hey, Rio Grande Joe, do you have something important to say?
I guess.
Yeah, no, we have to qualify you, right? It's got to be something important. You and I can't just chat. If we're going to have a chat, we'll do it offline.
Oh.
We'll talk about drinking coffee and things like that. Give me something to work with. Give me something. Give me something to work with.
Something to work with.
Yeah.
Well, it's still there, and it's going to be hard to get, like he said.
I don't know if that's anything to work with. At least you're not saying that you went and there was a hole where the treasure was.
Oh, no. It's bigger than I thought, because the area is at least 400 foot.
Yeah.
That you got.
Wait, what area is 400?
Below the blaze. The blaze ain't little, it's big. So when he says look quickly down, well,
Yeah.
you can't, because that damn thing's pretty wide.
Yeah.
It's about the blaze
So
itself
so in our few minutes that we're gonna, because I'm gonna cut you off at 10 minutes, because I just cut
That's
off
fine.
Randy at 10 minutes. So
Yeah, I heard him.
Here's what I want you to do for me. I want
What's that?
you to describe in the same detail that it would be described if you were a police officer. I want you to describe the area in where the blaze resides and its relation to the chest. And I'm not. First of all, have you actually ever been there?
Yeah, I
Okay.
went there the other day.
So do you have pictures? Why don't you take pictures and send them to me?
Well, I didn't this time, but I will this next time. I'm waiting for the moon to get little. If I go out there right now, you could see me walking across that area. He says it's isolated, and it is. No man-made trails or nothing there. There can't be no trails there because it's in a place that nobody would go.
All right. So let's get back to my question.
Okay. Describe it how.
What do you mean describe it how? Describe it. Paint a picture of where you think this treasure chest is based on your research.
Yeah. Well, the other clues are there. Just I thought the search area was smaller because it said look quickly down, but it's really not. You're gonna have to work at it to find it. And I didn't have my metal detector with me. So next time it's going with me.
See, you're doing it again. You avoided my question. The question is describe in artistic detail what the blaze, the area around the blaze, and the treasure chest looks like. Describe that to me. What is it? Rock? Is it rocky? Is it foresty?
No.
Is there water nearby?
Yeah, there's the creek runs through it, and it's running right now. And there's a few stones out there that I turned over, a few of them, but some of them I couldn't. They're too deep, and if I couldn't do it, well, he couldn't do it either. So, and there's sagebrush along the edge. Some other kind of trees, but I don't know what they are. They're kind of tall and skinny.
Pine, like coniferous or deciduous?
Yeah, no, they're not pine. They're something else.
Well, there's only two kinds of trees. There's deciduous trees, they have leaves, and there's coniferous trees, and they have needles.
Yeah.
Do they have needles or do they have leaves?
No, they have leaves.
And what color is the bark?
They're kind of whitish.
So they could be aspens?
No, I know what an aspen is. You see them going down the
beach
where you went the other day. It's kind of a little darker than the aspens.
Okay.
So
so
they're not real tall. They're about
What's the blaze? What is your blaze?
The blaze is white, and it's man-made, and it's bigger than I thought.
Wait a minute. Didn't he say it wasn't man-made?
He never did say that.
So your blaze is white, and describe it. Describe your blaze to me.
It's about it's about 160 foot long by about 80 wide or something like that. So once you walk down to the end of this blaze, you look quickly down towards the creek, not quickly down towards the ground. And then you got a pretty good sized search area. So you're going to have to work at it to find it, whether it's in the creek or in the banco of the creek. The only way to find it in the creek is with a metal detector. It's not very deep. It's maybe 3.5 foot, but you can't reach down there and touch it because I tried all along down there. And I was looking for, like he said, when you see it, you'll know what it is. I did find some markers along the creek that shouldn't have been there, and they're wood. It shouldn't be there. So I don't know if that's...
And this is that area south, let's see, it would be east and south of Angel Fire?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and the creek to have...
the one we were talking about last week? The area that we were talking about last week?
Yeah, the area last week.
Yeah.
These are stuck on the side there, like, I don't know what they would be, maybe to tie a rope on it and you get in the creek where it wouldn't drag you down there while it's running or whatever. But it's two of them, and they might fit the two Omegas. I don't know. They're the same height, the same thickness, and they're about, I would say, 2.5 feet apart.
And so what are these two Omegas made from?
They're wood. They're wooden.
And they coincidentally shaped like a Greek Omega, or somebody has carved them into an Omega?
Well, they're pretty old now, but they're still strong.
You didn't answer my question. They're shaped naturally like an Omega, or they're carved, man-made like an Omega?
They're kind of, well, if somebody put them there, they could have shaped them. But surely because they're same distance from the creek. And
what are they made from?
They're wooden.
And you think someone placed them there?
Yeah, I think it's a marker.
And
in the shape, remember he says if
you're a pair of Omegas.
He said if you're in the wood, if you're braving in the wood, and that fits it too. So I don't know. Without a metal detector, I don't know what it's marking or what it's holding. It could be a rope tied to it from there to down to the creek where it's at, or whatever. But I didn't want to get in there because that water's running fast.
You shouldn't be in water. You should not be searching in water.
No.
It's not only dangerous, there's no treasure to be found in water.
But it could be on the bank, because he mentions banco. You know what a banco is?
I do know
a seat.
I do know.
A seat, like to sit down, take a shower.
Spanish, I know what a banco is.
Yeah. Not a bank.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not a bank. That's right.
Not a bank. It's worth what's in the bank, but it's not a bank. But that's what I found so far at that area. And like I said, and there's also another blaze there, but I don't know which one of them. It's got to be the one that lasts longer than
the man-made one. So we got a man-made blaze and a natural blaze.
And I found a natural one too.
Okay. So tell me where in the poem there's any indication that there is more than one blaze.
Well, there's not. It's in that same area, so it could be either one. kind of like the Homer Brown. There's two of them there.
You know what
That
you ought to
main one-
do?
What's that?
You ought to let me charge you for going with you on the next trip or whenever this trip goes, just so I could point out what is wrong with this entire theory.
Okay. Well, Mr. Sloan's in this thing too. I'll show you where it's at.
Didn't we just hear somebody say that Sloan was an important part of the poem or incorporated in the poem? Where did I hear that?
Well, I don't know if you heard it, but at that blaze, he's right in it. I'll show you.
Okay.
I can't tell you over the phone.
Guess what-
Everybody be running over there to it.
Guess what time it is?
It's time to shut it down.
All right.
Well, if we can get together, I can show you.
I don't know.
And,
Well, I'm headed up in that direction tomorrow, but I have a mission I have to accomplish. So
well, I got to work on my water well too,
Yeah.
so I can't go.
water well.
Yeah.
So you gotta dig up. You have to get your water from the ground as opposed to have it sent by the city.
Yeah, I've got a water well.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a good well,
All right.
and
It should be.
it's just electrical stuff on the top.
Yeah.
so-
You know what? I've never heard of a bad well in New Mexico. Have you?
Not really, except down
Yeah.
where they got the oil fields.
Yeah. Down where they have
Some
the
of them
oil
get
fields.
a little oil in them. I
Okay,
had one
hey.
down there too. Okay, that's it.
All right.
It's time to go get it.
Yeah. All right. I'll
Well,
talk to you again.
We can't do it with this moon. It's too bright. You'll
Okay.
be
Well,
seen
I
out
would want
there.
to go at night anyway. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right. Bye bye.
Bye. So I wanted to mention something to you guys. I'm going to do a screenshot here real quick. So photographers are always looking for tools to help them with light and how the skies behave, et cetera, et cetera. And there's one that we all use, and it's called Photo Pills. I'm not going to do it's a download. It's a smartphone app. And I don't think it costs anything. It's one of those that if you really want the extra features, but if you're ever out in the field and you're trying to calculate where the sun is going to be at a certain day, at a certain time, and how it's going to cast light or shadow into a valley, get yourself I carry it on my phone. Photo Pills is on my personal phone. I don't keep it on the studio phone because the studio phone doesn't go anyplace. But it was built by experts, and they can calculate the positions of the sun and the stars and the moon and everything in the sky in order for you to get, like, if you I used it once because I was on the West Coast and I wanted a sunset photo of there's a locust tree that sits off Pebble Beach Golf Course, and it's actually copyrighted. And I had this 300 millimeter lens, and I wanted to get a picture of this tree, and I wanted to know exactly when the sun would be setting in a way that it backlighted the tree, because I had a beautiful sunset filter in front of the lens. And that's what you use Photo Pills for, because Photo Pills not only told you that on what day, if you were going to be there, what time would be ideal, and what angle you had to be in comparison to the sun to get it, because it does what's it called? Artificial reality. So it creates an artificial reality for you image like that. So if your theory involves the sun, the moon, the things in the sky, whether it's night or day, whether it has like the Milky Way or the three wise men and some comet, you got to have a copy of Photo Pills. And they have a lot of videos, not only on the Photo Pills website, but all over YouTube of how to use it. I just saw a really good one that said if you wanted to calculate when the sun would be casting the shadow in a valley that you were going to be in order to get the best possible picture. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Photo Pills. Every good photographer has a copy of the app on their smartphone or their iPad or their tablet. So yeah, John Wayne, if you were to give it the grid coordinates, you could find out when the sun's going to shine on it. Let's see. Yes, Sassy, I have a picture. As a matter of fact, Jason was asking me about some DVDs that I produced for him back in 2010, and I was looking. He accidentally sold his last 2 copies of the DVD without making copies, so I wanted to go see if I had some, and I found this set of slides, and one of the slides, they're slides, so I can't show them to you. One of the slides, and that's what made me think of photo pills. One of the slides was, and it's got a name. It's like the magical locust or the thing, and it's on Pebble Beach, and it's literally, there's a sign that says photography not, if you get close enough. I was far enough away that I couldn't see the sign. That was my logic. It's got a name, and it's been copyrighted by the owners of the Pebble Beach Golf Club because it's such a beautiful picture. And I had heard, so I did that several years ago. And I had heard that somebody had cut it down. I hope that's not true, but that's the one that I'm talking about, Sassy. I'll see if I can figure out how to get, I should buy one of those digital slide, converters, because I literally have tens of thousands of slides, Kodachrome and Ektachrome slides, a couple of Fuji ones too. Okay, so I got a couple of calls while we were on with the Rio Grande Joe. Candy says, in my opinion, the blaze is going to be hidden within the 3rd stanza. I think I agree with that. No, I was okay for that. That's just, he's one of my regulars, Candy. I deal with it. All right, Ken from Oklahoma was trying to call in, but I thought I saw Brad, and there they are. Is this Brad? Oh, no. So Brad's trying to call in. Let me see. I'm going to call him right back. How much time have we got? The Lone Cypress. That's right, not Locust. Thank you, Sassy. I'll see if I can figure out how to...
Hello?
Hey, Brad, it's Toby.
Hey, Toby.
How are you doing? Very good, thank you.
I'm doing well. So, I wanted to, real quickly, I know we're getting close to the end here.
Yeah.
Something I came across that I just want to throw out there. So, Forrest has said many times to read My War for Me. If you don't do anything else, read My War for Me.
Agreed.
And if you read the last, say, page and a half or so of My War for Me, you come to the conclusion of what he is trying to purvey in that entire chapter, and probably in the entire book. And so I was trying to put that into terms where you could read that into the poem. And so there's one, the 5th stanza. So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answers I already know. I've done it tired and now I'm weak. And if you read the last page and a half of My War for Me and put that in terms of the poem, it fits perfectly. And in terms of how the poem, 5th stanza, anyway, I'm not trying to say that I know where the treasure is or how the poem is deciphered or anything, but if you read the last page and a half of My War for Me, it fits perfectly with the 5th stanza. What are your thoughts on that?
So I don't have my book in here. We were, I left it in the other room because we were on the member vault. So I don't have it with me. So can I recite the 5th stanza from memory? Is that so? Why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answers I already know. I've done it tired, and now I'm weak.
Right.
So that's the 5th stanza.
So in My War for Me, he answers why, or the answers for that chapter are in the last page and a half.
Wow.
Of My War for Me.
You know what? I have to go back to my notes, because when we were going through the poem in the member vaults, and we were doing it stanza by stanza. Every week we'd break down another of the stanzas. It took us 6 weeks to get through it. Or, I'm sorry, 3 weeks, because it was twice a week. We got to that one, and during that, I don't know what stimulated the conversation or the thought, but during that analysis that we were doing in the member vault, it struck me that he doesn't give us the answers, right? He says the answers I already know.
Right.
And then he says, I've done it tired and now I'm weak, but that is not the answer to the question that he's asking that precedes that line, right?
Right.
He says the answers I already know, and I don't remember if it's a period or not. Hang on. I don't have my book. Let me look at it real quick.
So there's one part in there where he says that when this realization hit me, at last I knew.
Right.
If I cannot enrich those with whom I interact with each day and cause them to be better, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The whole preceding portion of My War for Me leads up to that particular part of My War for Me. That's actually like the third to the last paragraph.
So,
but the last page and a half is a lot of questions, and he's going, did Shakespeare really, did he say, in other words, that most of us come up into this world with, for a little while, are blessed perhaps, and then depart and soon forgotten in history. And then he talks about the flowers and those things. And I'm not saying that I have deciphered anything, but to me, that 5th stanza relates precisely with that part of the book, especially the last, like I say, the last page and a half of My War for Me. And if you read that, or you go back and study just that portion of it, pages, I believe it's 102 to 103, and just read those portions of it. If you've read the preceding 15 pages or so of My War for Me, up to that point, that 5th stanza reads perfectly with that last portion of My War for Me.
Well, that's a heck of an insight that you've shared with us. What made you decide to do that?
Well, it's one of those things, like I say, in the last couple of years, I've kind of given up on the basic. Most people, when they read the poem, they read all the hints. They've deciphered, what Forrest has said, marry up the poem with the map. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's when he tells us to read the poem, go back and read the book, read the poem over and over and over, and then go back and read the book slowly, looking for things that catch up in your mind.
They catch up in your brain.
Yeah. And that's one of those things. The last time I read the book, within the last couple weeks, and I read that, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I flipped forward to the poem again, and I'm like, this is the part where he goes, the answers I already know. That's the only part of the book that I've read that he goes, I've figured it out. I've figured out why. I figured out all these things that have caught up in his brain of the thumb over Philadelphia, and I am no more than the rest, and they are no more than me. And I've figured out that the only reason I'm here on this earth is to please myself.
So in the poem he says, "The answers I already know."
Right.
The implication being that there, in his own mind, perhaps even his own heart, he's asked questions to which he has the answers, maybe to life, to why he exists, to why he does this thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we would agree on that when he refers to the answers, these are answers that are greater than us looking for a treasure. These are his answers, right? These are his answers to life, right? To why he exists.
These are the things that he figured out in the last page and a half of My War for Me.
Okay.
In my opinion.
And we're about to get, and we'll finish this tomorrow. I'll give you something to think about. We're about to get where we ended up in the member vault.
Okay.
If the answers that he knows are the answers to the questions of life that he's had, and now he knows the answers to, why is that in the poem? That's what we couldn't figure out. Why, if Forrest Fenn, if Forrest Fenn is asking the big question that we all should ask ourselves, why are we here? What am I here for? What's the purpose of my existence? All of that. And he says, I have those answers, right?
Yeah.
The implication of what he's saying in that fifth stanza is that he has those answers. What does that? The fact that he has those. If I was hiding a treasure, and I was hiding a treasure because I said to myself, you were here, you were placed on this earth to accomplish some mission. And if the mission is that you hide this expensive treasure and get people off their couches, this is the mission. This is what your life is all about. And it turns out it's what it's going to be. His life is going to be characterized in the context of this treasure hunt, regardless of, the treasures of San Lazaro and the work that he did with Joseph Henry Sharp and his travels and his military service, et cetera, et cetera. It's all going to be viewed through the lens of this treasure hunt. So at some point, he had to conclude that this treasure hunt was his life's mission.
But his treasure hunt is viewed through not our eyes, which we all look at the entire scheme of this thing through our eyes. It's through his eyes. His eyes are in the last page and a half of My War for Me. Is it doesn't matter who others perceive you as long as you perceive yourself as who you are. That's what he was trying to purvey in that last.
That part of that's right.
Paragraph.
I agree with that. I agree that he finally realized that it didn't make any difference in life who other people thought you were. It only made a difference of who you believed you were.
Yeah.
Right.
And what others around you saw as, the flowers in the mountains are what they are, and the other things that are around them see them as. It doesn't matter that the flowers are what they are. They're not trying to make the other people see, hey, I'm a beautiful flower. I'm just being myself.
Do you think if a flower was rational, would it look at itself in the mirror and determine whether or not it was beautiful?
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
No.
Our time's done. We'll have to finish this again.
All right.
And let Sarah, I am working it from my end. I'm just not getting a lot of help from, I'll send you the last email that I got. I'm back to Hanukkah or whatever his name was. Whatever her name was. But I'm working it from my side. You guys keep working it from your side, okay?
All right, Toby.
All right, you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, I'm sure.
All right. Sounds good.
Have a good evening. Give Sarah my best.
I will.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
So I think what Brad was bringing up there deserves some consideration. I think there's something about that fifth stanza where he says the answers I already know, and then for the longest time I thought it was the answers I already know, and he was letting us know what the answers were. I've done it, tired, and now I'm weak. And in this last visit that we had through of stanza 5 in the member vault, I realized no, those are two completely separate things. And what we have to figure out is we have to figure out two things. What are the answers he knows that he doesn't share with us? And what are the questions that were asked that he has those answers to? Like, is it that I remember my first philosophy course in college, Philosophy 101, whatever it was. We got through the entire semester. I was fascinated with the work. And the final test was one word and a question mark. And the word was why. And we had to write a response to that question. And it was challenging because you had to go like, why, what? You know, why, what? And then it was, why are we here? Why, how did we arrive, et cetera, et cetera. I won't go into it because that was my college experience. And I hope your college experience was exciting as mine. My only regret of college was that I left in the middle of my last semester. If I had had the patience for it, I was so worried about having to return to Santa Fe that I left in the middle of the semester instead of finishing. And I didn't. I did finish my degree, but it was later at the Corcoran, so in Washington. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. So I'm going to zoom in with the Magical Treasure Princess because we're going to talk business for another couple of hours. We've got a bunch of stuff that we have to do over the weekend, including making some videos for a course that we're doing. And so I'm glad that you were here tonight. I enjoyed your company. I hope you had as much fun as we did. And Sassy, I want to thank you for taking care of any issues that arose in the room. I think you did the right thing, and I'm glad that you were there to do that. I will be here tomorrow night. I guarantee it. I promise you, because I'm not going bike riding tomorrow. I'm going video. I'm shooting video tomorrow. So it's just a drive up, and I got a new car. Truck is gonna get me back. So it's a drive up and drive back. All right. Thanks for joining me tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll try to make it a longer show tomorrow night and open up the phone lines early. All right. I love you guys.